Good morning, YouTube. Bank holiday Monday. Sitting outside in the sun at the moment, which is fine, but I shouldn't be doing this. I should be at my house right now working. Why am I not at my house? Because this morning when I got up, I lent my friend my Renault and he drove off with the keys in it, so I can't get into my house. I didn't realise this until I actually drove over to my house. I was just pulling up outside, looked down and I thought, where's my keys? Oh bugger, they're in the other car. So I had to come back here. Oh well, that's life. I'll have to find things to do now. I had so many plans for today as well. I had to stain the inside of my kitchen windows, put some wooden trims around the back door and stain those. I wanted to paint the shelving in the walk-in larder, bits and pieces like that. I wanted to get all that done today, but it's going to have to wait now. The other thing is I've got a load of tools in there that I need for work tomorrow morning, and my house is 30 minutes in the opposite direction to where I need to go to work, which is also a bit of a bugger because it means I've either got to leave earlier or not take all the stuff that I need to do my job. So that'll take some consideration. In the morning I'll have to decide what to do. On another note, I'd like to talk to you about the bioethanol that I mistakenly put in my car a couple of weeks ago in my Mercedes. I filled up with E85 instead of E5, which is 85% ethanol as opposed to 5% ethanol. Now the major problem with that is ethanol will deteriorate your fuel system and your fuel pipes and stuff, but I'm not too worried about that. My point today is that I found a company that will retrofit a kit to the car where they replace the fuel lines and various components and install a little electronic box that connects to the fuel injection system and regulates the mixture to compensate for the lack of gasoline, so that when you start it in the morning it actually runs, because at the moment on the ethanol it's very, very lumpy and wants to cut out when it's cold. As soon as it warms up it runs smooth as it's fine. There's no problems whatsoever. You couldn't even tell the difference. So I'm considering having one of these kits fitted. They're about €450 fitted by the company, including tax. And considering when I was using my car for work a couple of weeks ago, it was costing me €50 every 2 days. So let's just be on the conservative side and say it's €100 a week in fuel. The ethanol is 65 centimes a litre at the moment here, whereas the petrol is about 130. So it's less than half price, or thereabouts. It's about half price. So I'd be saving on that job, I'd be saving €50 a week, thereabouts. Well, at 450 for the installation, in 3 months it would have paid for itself. And if I keep the car long term, think of the money saving I'm going to make on fuel over the next 2-3 years. The other thing is I was thinking about fitting it because I'm in the process of starting up a new venture of buying and selling retro vehicles from the 80s and early 90s. And if this kit is a viable thing for older cars to run on ethanol, what a great thing to fit to each one of them. To enable people to buy fuel at such a cut price. It'd make the cars very saleable. It's like back in the day when people were putting the gas conversions on their cars. what they call LPG. But this stuff doesn't need an additional tank. You just put the fuel into your regular tank, and you can either fill up with ethanol or you can fill up with gasoline. It uses the same tank. The little electronic box senses the volume of or the percentage of ethanol in the fuel and adjusts the mixture to compensate. It almost seems like a no-brainer. I'm going to have to give it careful consideration over the next couple of weeks, because I think it might be something I should do. It just makes using the car so much more efficient. You know, there's no real difference in fuel economy. It may do just a fraction less per litre, per gallon, or whatever you want to look at it, but not noticeable. But if you're paying half the money for your fuel, it's got to be worth doing, surely. I'll have to give it some consideration. I was driving the car this morning, and once it had warmed up on the ethanol, you couldn't tell the difference. It was as smooth as anything. It's just the initial first 5 minutes. You start it up and it's lumpy, hesitant to start, but then it ticks over, and it will tick over. That's the thing, it will idle. But as soon as you try to give it any fuel, it just wants to cut out until it's warm. As soon as it's warm, it's fine. You can drive it away as normal. It's an interesting one. I don't know where to go with that. I think it's worth doing, and I think I might commit to it and do it, just to see. And if it works, then, as I say, I can do it on other vehicles as well. Such a saving. And if I'm selling a vehicle and I say to them, well, you can put ethanol in this and it's 60 centimes a litre, I think it'll help to sell those vehicles. For the same, if I'm fitting the kit myself, if it's going to cost me $450 to have it fitted, including tax, that kit can only be costing that garage about €200. You know, which is nothing on the price of a car. Yeah, it's got to be worth doing. Anyway, I'm going to do some research on that today, as I can't go and do any work at the house. Try and get my head around that, do some sums, work out the viabilities, and see if I can find out where to buy the kits off the shelf so that I can fit them myself. I will have one fitted professionally first time round, so that I can have a look at it, see what they've fitted, how they've fitted it, what components they've changed, and then I can start looking into doing it myself. The beauty of it is you don't need any special licensing to fit this stuff, unlike LPG, where you're supposed to be registered for gas and stuff like that, because of the aspects of it. It's also, the other thing is, LPG, you're not supposed to take an LPG vehicle on things like ferries and the cross-channel tunnel and stuff like that. But with this system, you can. And the ethanol is becoming more and more available, and you can check it online to see where it's available near you. There's about 3 garages very close to me that sell it. Depending on which direction I'm driving in the mornings, I'll pass one of them, so shouldn't be a problem. Yeah, so anyway, that's that. No real whinging, just the fact that my mate's got my keys. C'est la vie. See you soon. Take care, everyone.